For much of life, we're oriented toward arrival. Arriving at clarity, arriving at healing, arriving at understanding, arriving at a version of life that finally feels settled. After loss or major change, that orientation can quietly dissolve. This episode is about what happens when the need to arrive softens and living no longer feels like it's moving toward a destination. At first, not arriving can feel unsettling. Without a clear endpoint, life can feel open in a way that's uncomfortable. There's no finish line to aim for. No moment you're waiting to reach where everything makes sense again. But over time, something shifts. You may notice that you're no longer asking when things will resolve. No longer measuring your days by how close you feel to being past what happened. No longer watching yourself to see whether you're improving. Not because things are complete, but because the question itself has loosened. Living without needing to arrive doesn't mean you've given up. It means you're no longer structuring your life around a future version of yourself that's supposed to be free of what you've lived through. You're living as you are, where you are. There can be relief in this. Quiet relief. The relief of no longer tracking progress or worrying about whether you're doing this right. You stop asking whether today moved you forward or backward. Today is just today. This doesn't mean life becomes directionless. Things still happen. Decisions are still made. Plans still form. But they arise without the weight of expectation that everything is leading somewhere definitive. You may notice that your relationship to time has changed. The future doesn't pull as strongly. The past doesn't demand as much attention. The present isn't something you're trying to get through on the way to something better. It's simply where you are. Living without needing to arrive doesn't mean you don't care about what comes next. It means you're no longer postponing your life until something resolves internally. You're not waiting to feel whole before you live. You're living while things remain unfinished. This episode isn't about acceptance as a concept. It's about allowing life to be lived without a constant sense of pending completion. There may still be moments when you feel pulled back into the idea of arrival. When you wonder whether you should be further along, or whether something should feel different by now. Those moments don't mean the orientation has returned. They mean habit is fading slowly. Arrival is a deeply conditioned idea. We're taught to believe that peace, clarity, or fulfillment exists somewhere ahead of us. Letting go of that belief doesn't happen all at once. But when it loosens, even slightly, something opens. You begin to notice that life doesn't need to be resolved in order to be meaningful. That moments don't need to add up to something larger in order to matter. That being present doesn't require certainty. Living without needing to arrive allows experience to remain open-ended. You don't have to finalize your story. You don't have to decide what everything means. You don't have to arrive at a conclusion about yourself. This can feel vulnerable at first. Without arrival, there's no place to stand where everything is finished. But there's also honesty here. Life isn't something you arrive at. It's something you're already in. This season has moved from grief through silence, exhaustion, responsibility, relationship, and the quiet return of life. Not toward an endpoint, but toward participation. Participation without pressure. Movement without urgency. Living without needing to arrive. You may find that this way of living feels less dramatic than before. Less intense. Less defined. But it's also steadier. There's less self-monitoring. Less striving. Less internal commentary. You're not trying to get somewhere else. You're responding to what's here. This doesn't mean life won't change again. It will. It always does. But you don't need to prepare yourself for that change by arriving somewhere first. You're allowed to live in the middle, in the in-between, in the unfinished. That's not a failure of progress. It's a recognition of reality. This episode doesn't close anything. It simply releases the idea that something needs to close in order for life to continue. If you're listening to this and recognizing that you're no longer waiting to arrive somewhere emotionally, you're not drifting. You're living. If these reflections help that recognition feel steadier, you're welcome to stay. Liking the video helps it reach others who may still feel pressure to arrive. And if you want to keep a steady space like this as the channel continues, you can subscribe, not for answers, but for companionship. If someone you care about seems caught in the feeling that life hasn't started again yet, you're welcome to share this with them, only if it feels right. You don't need to arrive to be living. You don't need resolution to move forward. You're already here, and that's enough.